For you on this CNN Saturday morning, give you a look at some of the things we're keeping a close eye on. We're 19 minutes past the top of the hour now, and right now, students all across the country, they're thinking about what school they want to go to, what college they're going to go to. Well, as they fill out applications, how many had Penn State on their list? But now Penn State is no longer on the list. Maybe that's just one example of how Penn State has some work to do on its reputation. So let me bring in somebody here who can help me with that. Branding expert Melissa Dawn Johnson, a friend of our show here. She's CEO and president of Velvet Sweet Marketing and Brand Me International. Is that real? Do you think there's some kids sitting around, and maybe even more so the parents, saying, wait a minute, cross Penn State off your list?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest here. We're dealing with a tragedy of epic proportions. And so right now, the school's never seen an incident like this. Intercollegiate athletics has never seen a crisis like this. And most importantly, for the children, I mean, this is truly a difficult time, and my heart and prayer goes out to them.
Where do they even start? They've got a new president. Where do you start to get people to think differently about Penn State?
Yeah, it's going to take time, first of all. And I also think it's really important to realize they're going to have to revive this brand. A brand is really about its worth. And Penn State has been noted to be worth over $4.6 billion. And so right now they've got to begin to rally the troops, get the right minds at the table, and do what I call CPR, which is create community, create plans, and actually be resilient to just keep going forward.
Okay, what do they need to really revitalize here? Is it work they need to do in their athletic department, maybe specifically the football team, that image? Or has this tainted the whole school? And it's not just about the Nittany Lion, that mascot, it's about the campus as a whole.
Yeah, it's bigger than football. And I think, you know, Penn State's mantra is, we are Penn State. Well, now they're in an identity crisis. Who is Penn State? Really, what does it mean? What are their values? How do they bring in loyalty? How do they bring in compassion right now? And so they're going to have to talk about the broader side of the school, which is not just football, it's education. They're actually, one of their top schools is the business school, which is all around their supply chain management. It's one of the top programs. Let's talk about that. Let's have conversations about how we're going to heal, but also how this program is bigger than the university.
Okay, how do you do that? You talk about that CPR. So what would you tell them? Who do you target? Do you make sure you're out front? I mean, how do you go about, I know you said time, but how do you really go about making people think differently about Penn State?
I mean, I think, first of all, it's the communication, right? They've got to be very honest and very empathetic about the situation,
about the scandal
itself. Then they've got to really step back and say, well, what is our new message going to be? How do we rally those who are our biggest fans, our students, our faculty, our staff, those who attend the university, and their alumni? So they've got to really begin to get back in with them and say, how do you tell your story? What has your experience been at Penn State? How do we begin to talk about this as an opportunity for us to recover and to be resilient?
Sounds like they do have a long, long way to go. Penn State University. All right, Melissa Dawn Johnson, good to have you here in studio with us. Thank you so much. We'll see you again plenty, I'm sure.